Welcome to SOS Media, your number one source of the latest news, opinions, and in-depth investigations that dig deeper into today's developing stories around the globe. According to court documents filed on Thursday, the 1st of June 2023, federal prosecutors in Brooklyn, New York are seeking to garnish the R&B king R. Kelly's royalty payments, with the aim of turning over the money to two of the alleged victims in his New York trial. The prosecutors filed two writs of garnishment addressed to R. Kelly and his record labels, Sony Music Entertainment and Universal Music Publishing, arguing that R. Kelly has so far failed to fulfill his debt of about $520,550. In accordance to the court documents obtained by SOS Media, a writ of continuing garnishment was filed on Thursday, June 1. Such a writ is usually filed by creditors, but in this case the government is remarkably acting on behalf of R. Kelly's alleged victims. They are pursuing collecting money owed from their debtors, which in this case are the two record labels. The outstanding balance on the aforesaid judgment is $504,289 inclusive of the accrued interest as of June 1, 2023. However, interest is continuing to accrue, the official papers filed against Sony Music Entertainment read. The courts say they filed the writ of continuing garnishment to R. Kelly's label, Sony Music Entertainment, because it is in possession of property that belongs to him that they do believe can be used to pay down the debt, probably not only partially but rather to completion altogether. We should recall that a writ is a form of written command in the name of a court or other legal authority to act, or abstain from acting in a particular way. In this case, the government through the courts are ordering the two R. Kelly labels to bridge the payment gap between him and the alleged victims. Also to note is that the term garnish in the aspects of law refers to serving a notice on a third party for the purpose of legally seizing money belonging to a debtor or defendant. From our previous stories, we have discussed about the tensions, speculations and disagreements that to date exist between R. Kelly and Sony. In the wake of his legal battles, Sony decided to end its working relationship with R. Kelly, although he remained listed on their website, because his back catalog remained under Sony's ownership. We also know that a pile of recording loyalties are sitting in R. Kelly's account at Sony Music, and I don't think I am wrong when I say it is this money that the government is now targeting to have these debts paid off. In the year 2020, Heather Williams won a $4 million ruling against R. Kelly after having filed a civil lawsuit against him a year earlier. Williams alleged that she was enticed to R. Kelly's studio on a promises that she could feature in one of his music videos. Way back in March, Illinois Supreme Court ruled that Heather Williams was entitled to access R. Kelly's label fund, which was reportedly valued at $1.5 million in 2020, before Midwest Commercial Funding, a property manager that won its own distinct $3.5 million ruling against R. Kelly over unpaid rent arrears on a Chicago-based music studio. With the unclear relationship Sony has with R. Kelly, we can't actually ascertain how much money R. Kelly's loyalty account could be holding today. Fears remain that the account could be having far less money than the government is actually demanding. We are also skeptical as to why the government has taken this hasty move, yet we know that R. Kelly's appeal process for the New York trial is around the corner. We for sure can't take this timing for granted. In this particular case, the state high court's pronouncement maintained a previous ruling by a lower court that Heather Williams, and not the property manager Midwest Commercial, should be given precedence to access R. Kelly's Sony royalties for the reason that she was the first to appropriately file a request for the awarded money. Midwest Commercial had demanded for access to the R. Kelly loyalty funds 4 months earlier, but flouted the law by filing their request via email, well as Heather used postal mail, which is the legally binding mode of communication here. The earlier ruling ordered the label to hand over any funds currently in Kelly's royalty account to Heather Williams and to keep paying her from his royalties until the judgment was paid off. It's unclear how much of Kelly's funds each company currently holds. A court ruling in March disclosed that Kelly's royalty account with Sony held $1,544,333 as of 2020. R. Kelly's lead attorney, the unrelenting Jennifer Bonjean, had in the very beginning sought to overturn the $4 million judgment against her client, claiming that the award to Williams never should have been entered for the reason that it was issued after R. Kelly had failed to reply to a judgment he knew nothing about. I have never in my career seen such a flouting of the rules to deny him even the opportunity to defend these civil cases, even when the courts were fully aware that Kelly was incarcerated, unrepresented at points, and facing multiple criminal indictments, Bonjean said. Indeed, much of these civil proceedings occurred without Kelly's knowledge, she added. We are also aware that the New York judge ordered R. Kelly to pay over $520,000, including nearly $380,000 in restitution to two alleged victims who were identified only as Jane and Stephanie, and an additional $140,000 in fines and penalties. The United States Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of New York announced that they have already collected $27,828 from garnishing R. Kelly's inmate trust account last year. We still have doubts about the legalities involved during the emptying of R. Kelly's inmate trust fund, and the issue is still under contest. Bonjean has from time and again argued and exposed the illegalities that were involved. It, however, also remains one of the key areas of contest during the upcoming appeal proceedings. Now, the United States Attorney's Office revealed that it currently owes R. Kelly $504,289, including interest, the statement said. It then quickly added that the interest is continuing to accrue. When Billboard contacted Bonjean for a comment about this latest entry into the docket, she said she had no opinion on the latest move by the prosecutors seeking to garnish R. Kelly's royalties. R. Kelly, through his legal team, has appealed both his New York and Chicago federal convictions and is asking for his convictions to be overturned or to be granted new trials. In the New York appeal, R. Kelly's attorneys argued in part that a number of the jurors who convicted their client had seen the Netflix documentary series Surviving R. Kelly and were therefore acquainted with the allegations. The appeal argued that R. Kelly's previous defense attorneys had failed to disqualify the jurors who had admitted to being familiar with the allegations against him, but Bonjean is quite determined this time. Additionally, if R. Kelly and his legal team have it their way, he won't be spending too much more time behind bars. As previously reported, he and his team have filed an appeal against his New York trial, arguing that the prosecutorial team failed to meet their burden of proof during the ordeal. They're seeking to either get his conviction reversed or a new trial altogether, should their appeal get granted. We are very optimistic that with such an unrelenting lawyer as Bonjean and with all the new evidence about the lies, injustices and irregularities in his legal battles, R. Kelly will soon get justice and subsequently walk out of prison a free man. Thank you for watching today's video, brought to you by SOS Media. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of our videos. Also remember to leave your comment about today's topic in the comment section below.